All right, now we're recording. All right, this is Double Trouble, and welcome to our lovely channel. Today, we couldn't be together, so we decided to do an Uvu chat with each other. So, as you can tell, I don't know, does it record, when it records, does it have our names above? It probably does. Maybe not, I don't know.
It records, it says, yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. It has the name still on it after.
So, yeah, obviously.
So, as you can see, my name right here.
Yeah, name is up there. Anyway, today's talk. What the heck are you?
Sorry. Well, you know, at least we can see it.
Okay, no, that's me. Go right there. Right there. Alright. Today, we're never going to film the dorks. Dorks is beyond, Anyway, today we want to talk about our two favorite haunted locations.
Or beyond.
Beyond.
Yes.
Which one do you want to talk about first? Which one?
We could talk about the Hornet first.
Okay.
The USS Hornet.
The USS Hornet. For those of you who don't know anything about the USS Hornet, it is an excuse me. It's an old aircraft. What's the smile? You're like, sorry. Now you got me going. It's an old aircraft carrier. It's in Alameda, California. That's been turned into a museum. You're on.
I'm listening.
Yeah, but I see your face this time. When we recorded last time, I couldn't see your face, and now I see your face, and all I can do is laugh.
It's alright, anyway. Laughter's a good thing.
Yeah. No, laughter's definitely a good thing. Anyway, it's in Alameda, California.
Exercise.
It is good exercise. And this is, well, for those of you who understand aircraft carriers, they're huge. This thing is gigantic.
It's awesome.
Yeah. It's also extremely haunted. Residual.
Oh, yeah.
It has lots of residual, but there's also intelligent hauntings there. We've been, how many times have we gone now? 3?
3 times.
Yeah. We've gone 3 times.
We'll be going on the 4th and 5th time.
This summer.
Hopefully by the end of this year it'll be 6 times.
Oh, that's right. It'll be 4 times next weekend. Yay! And then it'll be 5 times. Yeah, this summer. That'd be cool. Anyway.
Cool. And then, yeah.
The USS Hornet, gosh, this is when I wish I had all the information in front of me about it. Damn it. Screw that. I'll get information later. Anyway, well, yeah, you can go to the USS Hornet whatever, or just Google USS Hornet. It is a museum, open to the public for $20, for general fee. You get to see the flight deck, the hangar bay, and the second deck. And if you want to see extra, you can get what they call a docent-led tour that takes you to areas like the brig and some places on the third floor. A lot of it's shut off to the public because of the asbestos. I don't think I'm saying that right, but asbestos, whatever. That stuff, the nasty stuff that you don't want to inhale, they're trying to get rid of it. Anyway, the very first time we went was 2 years ago. God, 2 years ago. Holy crap. Yeah. 2 years ago.
Well, technically when we went the first time, it was in February. Maybe 3 years ago. Technically in February.
Okay, technically, if you want to be technicality, yeah. But I'm talking about the actual year.
Just saying.
And we went to, just saying.
What?
Mind blown. It was a Paracon, which is a paranormal. You make it very hard to talk when you're doing that.
What am I doing? I'm smiling. I'm listening.
Okay. It's a paranormal conference, which talks about people with ghosts and anything that's paranormal. Bigfoot, UFOs, because paranormal is defined as anything that's not normal. It's out of the ordinary. Most people associate it with ghosts, but in this case, they call it the Gray Ghost Paracon, and it's going to be the 4th one this coming summer. And yeah, it was really cool to go on this big ship for the first time, and then you get to go on. Well, how do you investigate? What are you doing?
Well, the edge of my couch, the blanket on it moved, and I'm just trying to make sure it's the cat that's under it, because it just moved.
Anyhow.
You were just talking about abnormal things. It was abnormal, and I noticed it.
Yeah, it's abnormal. You're abnormal.
Yeah. That's why you love me so much.
Yeah. Anyway. Recompose. Yeah, right. You pay to go to this conference, and if you want to pay a little extra, you get to stay the night aboard the Hornet and go on an investigation to different areas.
Which is really cool. It's actually a really awesome deal. Because they feed you too.
Well, yeah, they do. They feed you dinner and then they feed you breakfast. Yay, breakfast!
And you get to sleep on their beds.
Yeah, we do get to sleep on the World War bunks.
Bunks, that's it. Yeah, bunks. I couldn't figure it out, yeah.
The World War II bunks. Anyway, our first trip, let's see, didn't you get messed with, Faye?
Yeah, I had my hair played with down in the washroom. But I can still hear feedback. It drives me crazy.
I can't help that you're hearing. I don't hear any feedback. But yeah, you got touched.
Yeah, well, on that tour, because the tour changes. I mean, sometimes you get to revisit the same rooms, depending. But for the most part, they try to change it up. So you just really don't know what rooms you're going to wind up on the tour. But the first time we actually went down to one of the washrooms, and the ceilings are low. They're like more of an 8-foot high ceiling instead of a 10-foot. And that was one thing that was mentioned because of some of us taller people, and I consider one of the taller people.
And they're not joking. A lot of tall people have the deck.
Yeah, so I wanted to make sure, obviously that was one thing I took notice. And at the time, when you walk in, you have the wash machines, and then you walk behind a set of dryers, and on the backside you have dryers. And myself and another ex-team member were back there, and it was just the two of us, while everybody else was on the front part, and we were told to be quiet because we were going to try to conduct an EVP session. So I stood in the middle of the row of the aisles because I didn't want to touch any of the dryers. I didn't want the metal sound. I wasn't touching anything, and the other team member was in front of me looking at my direction, and all of a sudden, I mean, because my hair was short, it felt like someone just came along and just did this to my hair. And I automatically started looking with my flashlight up at the ceiling to make sure there was no cobwebs, just looking around. I walked up to him, whispered what was happening, and he goes, I was looking right out there at you. There was nothing. So there was no explanation other than that it was a personal experience. It was really cool.
Yeah, that was her very first big one.
I was touched before, but that was my first one there, yeah.
At this one, right, at the Hornet.
Yeah, at the Hornet.
Not too much really happened. I mean, there's just too many people.
Oh yeah. Some people can be a bit.
Well, no, it's not that. They were using equipment that they had no idea how to use yet, and they decided that they're going to try to use it that night. You don't take a ghost box and go, oh, let's try a ghost box session and not know how to turn the darn thing on and off, or use a Melmeter and don't know how to use that properly either. Anyway, these are equipment that we're talking about.
So you want to.
Your standard ghost hunting equipment, your K2, your recorder, your whatever, learn to use it. No joke. We don't like it when you don't know how to use it. Makes it annoying. Very annoying.
Well, let alone, you don't want people to remember you for that you didn't know how to use your equipment. You know, I mean, obviously that's a topic of discussion quite a bit.
No, it is a topic, especially when you go on the Hornet, because the Hornet's huge. It's metal. Everything, so if you're not careful, everything echoes. Everything, you knock at the side of the wall, and the next thing you know, you're getting all the way down. You have to be careful. And some people are making it very difficult to figure out, well, was that knocking, or was that somebody who hit the damn wall in accident? Unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, that is kind of the downside of that. I mean, because it is all metal, so every noise. If someone's walking upstairs above you with, boots or big, heavy, cloggy kind of shoes, you can hear it below. And, that's the downside. I mean, some people don't think about it, what they're wearing when they go on trips like that. But it's just part of it.
Well, aside from all that, you had a really good first experience on the Hornet. Then later that evening, I got my experience on the Hornet when we were sleeping, and then you captured something afterwards. When I was sleeping, I thought I was just dreaming, but I actually woke up because I had been sleeping in the bunk, and I felt like I had been pulled, and I had, someone's pulling on me. I'm going to wake up. I'm not just going to go, whatever. I woke up. There's nobody there. So I just adjust myself, sit back down, and whatever. Didn't think anything of it because we were all exhausted. And then
we were.
But that's all I really remember. I don't really remember much more that happened except for just that feeling of being pulled. And then you caught an EVP on that stairwell that shouldn't have been there.
Because I had the recorder going, because one of the stories was that you would hear someone coming down the ladder and walk around where we were located, where we were sleeping. And sure enough, because we went to bed kind of early, we were pretty exhausted, and we all zonked out pretty quick. I'm a light sleeper, and I zonked out. I was out. It was the best night's sleep I've had, forever.
Yeah, it was. That was awesome. A good night's sleep.
I mean, I was out in 5 minutes. I thought, oh, God, I'm not going to sleep, and I was out in 5 minutes.
But yeah, and that's when the snore fest happened.
After about 2.5 hours of audio for recording, after 2.5 hours of people going to bed, because you could still tour around in certain areas, so you get a lot of the walking, and you can hear from people, because we were on the lower part we were like at the bottom, basically, weren't we?
No.
We were like in the third deck.
We weren't. That's not the exact bottom.
We were in the belly.
We were allowed to be.
There would be another below.
Yeah, we were allowed to be in the third deck by permission of one of the docents said that we could be down there. So, which is nicer because the mattresses are thicker. The mattresses are 10 times thicker.
They were thicker.
But not as many people go down there, so it's not over-contaminated with noise.
Right. But when people were going to bed through the 2.5 hours of recording initially, you can hear them come down the one set of stairs, and then you have to kind of go through a room and kind of go into the main berthing area where most of the people were sleeping. And halfway into that area, you have to go. That's where to the opening to go down the stairs to go to where we were. You can hear after 2.5 hours, well, about 3 hours in my recording, you can hear someone coming down the ladder, take a couple of steps in, stop, and then go back out. You would hear no additional above of anything. So that happened twice that night, which was really cool because that was part of the story or the claims of that location.
Yeah.
Really cool.
We heard lots of claims that day. There were, in the engine room, there's supposedly a guy that whistles. And there's also
Did we get a whistle, though?
Sort of, a little very, very faint one.
Very faint one.
Very faint. But yeah, we are told that there's, what do you call them? Phantoms, full apparitions, all kinds of stuff that happen. Excuse me. Our member, well, he's still a member. He's just not active with us right now. Scott Wolf, he caught an airplane taking off, and we were three deck? Was it 3 deck? Was it 2 decks?
That was in the conference room. That was
the ward room.
Decks. That was the deck below.
Where? The ward room. It's the same.
No, you said it was in the conference room.
It was in the ward room where the conference was being held.
So we were still 3 decks down, yeah.
Yeah, so he heard the plane taking off, but it's impossible. We even asked a couple of docents, is it possible if the planes were to take off today, would we be able to hear them in this room take off? And he's all, well, you'd be able to feel them. He's all, but as far as hear them, not so much because there's all kinds of sounds going on. People running, people doing this, the engines, they're like, no, you shouldn't be able to hear just a solo plane taking off. And he caught the engine literally going across as if it had gone across and taken, and either landing or, no, it was taking off. It was not landing, it was taking off. It was really interesting. I mean, that was good for him, really cool. But he was so excited.
Oh, yeah.
But that was our first experience there. Our second time we went to was not during a Paracon. It was an overnight stay. And
with another team.
With another team. And I think the one experience that sticks out in my mind the most was when we were up in the Japanese room and we heard footsteps outside a door. And then the door is rattling. First we thought someone was messing with us. Someone's messing with us. Oh, they're just trying to get. And we all wait. Everyone's excited. Oh no, and whatever. And then it happens again. And somebody who was with us decides to go over to the door and waits for it to rattle. They open the door. There's nobody there. There's no reason for this door to rattle. There's no reason for it to turn back and forth. No reason. But there was how many people in that room that heard it? Like 10 or more?
I would say there was about 10 of us.
Yeah.
About 10 of us.
And we all heard it. And the bad part is, going over my recording, I don't have any of that. That audio did not make it onto my recorder. I don't know why. It's weird. Did it make it on yours?
Offhand, I don't think it was, but at the time when we were kind of going over it, I was pretty exhausted still.
Well, true.
So I was going to revisit
go back
later.
And, revisit that later, because that was just so intense right there. There was no reason for no one to be behind that door. And even after it rattled, there's nowhere for anyone to go.
Right. At that time, I was more trying to disprove the K2 hits we were having, because there was a lot of electrical interference.
There was way too much electrical interference.
Yeah, I think because everybody was making such a big deal about it, but on the audio, you can hear that radio interference that you hear, like when the cell phone is on next to your recorder. Mm-hmm. You can hear that as it's getting that signal. And I think somebody had their phone on and was just saying it wasn't on, because I had so much audio.
You always get one of those people it doesn't matter. I mean, it's not like we paid just for ourselves, as you said. It was two teams, and we ended up having docents with us. That's the way it goes. But I can't explain it. You can't explain it. It's
yeah. It's just at that time I was more focused on the other thing, trying to disprove that what they were trying to say was what it wasn't really. It was interference. It was regular electrical interference. It wasn't paranormal.
No, that was just regular radio interference. But none of us can explain the door or the footprints.
No, the door, there was no explanation for that.
Footfalls.
And the footsteps?
Yeah, footfalls. It's better that footfalls works.
But when you walk, you step, of course your foot falls.
Yeah, exactly. It works for me. I said footprints.
But I laughed every time you say it.
I said footprints.
I heard footfalls.
Yeah, well, no, I said footprints
originally.
Did you say
footprints again?
I did. That's why I switched to footballs. I went to footballs versus
because
footprints.
Footprints, you don't hear them. You see footprints.
I know that. I corrected myself to footballs because you can hear a foot falling. Sort of. Anyway. Later that evening, we decided to sleep in the sick bay, so that they allowed us to sleep in the sick bay. And you were sleeping in the burn unit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You explain what happened to you.
There was only 4 bunks in there. Huh?
You explain what happened, and then I'll explain what happened to Cal.
Really though, nothing really truly happened. It's just honestly the bunk I was on, if you move too much, it would rattle. Like some of them are pretty solid. They're in there no matter what you move, it's not going to make a noise. And some of them do make noise. So with this purposely, I was trying not to move because I was recording. And I'm a light sleeper. This time I hardly slept at all that night.
We all
I think I was more awake than I was asleep. But what was really weird is I was completely still, and I can almost hear like a rhythm of a heartbeat through frame of the bed, and that was kind of creeping me out because I couldn't explain it, to the point where I even was thinking maybe it was the sound of my own heartbeat, because you know how like when you lay on your pillow you kind of get the sound of that.
Right.
You know what I'm talking about? So I purposely moved on my back, settled down, and was quiet for a while, and I would hear it again. I even would shake the bed thinking, you know, but I have no explanation, but it really did. It was kind of like a rhythm of a heartbeat that I just kept hearing through this.
It makes me think of Edgar Allan Poe's The Telltale Heart.
Yeah, it's just weird because usually when people were put in that room, basically they were there to basically die. I mean, they were burned or they were extremely injured to the point where
or
they were
hopefully
basically
last until they can get them off the ship into a proper hospital.
Right. Yeah, so basically that's what it was, you know. So I mean, on multiple levels, it wouldn't surprise me of that, but it was just one of those things I couldn't explain it, and I got it on recorder too. So I have no logical explanation, which
that
makes it kind of
creepy.
one of those things.
So that's what happened with you in the burn unit, and then another member kind of leaving at the moment. We're not really sure what's going on with him right now, but he was sleeping in one of the bunks, of which we were told that there's a, what do you call them? The dark people, the shadow people, the shadow people frequent the sick bay. And he said he was just sitting down, and the other team was there. They had just come down, and they asked if it was okay if they did an EVP session while we were just laying in there. And we're like, yeah, that's fine, go ahead. And they were, mind you, they were like in the ER room. So we're actually, they were nowhere, I mean, near us, but not near us. And Calvin says, sort of, but mumbled. It was very mumbly. We couldn't hear anything.
It was mumbled, yes, because they were being kind of quiet.
Yeah, we don't know what they were asking. We didn't know anything what they were asking at the time. And Calvin said that he got pulled and pushed and poked in his bunk. He almost got thrown out of his bunk, is what happened.
Yeah, it woke him up in mid-snore.
Yeah, and he did. That is hard to do.
He's like, oh shit, and I'm all, what, Cal? What?
Yeah.
What? He goes, I just got pulled. I'm like, what?
Yeah. And when he's out, he's out. It takes a lot to wake him up. And then later that evening, another ex-team member, same bed, did not know that Cal and I, we couldn't sleep with bam. We just decided to get up and we went up top. And she didn't know that we were gone. She didn't know, because that's what she was looking for. She was looking for me. She's looking for Calvin. She looks up and she swears that she sees this dark mass just sit up where Calvin was in his bed, and thought it was Calvin at first. And then it doesn't move. It doesn't do anything. And then she takes her flashlight and goes, oh crap. That's the first time she ever left her flashlight on. Because I came back down, she had gone back to sleep, and I went back to my bunk. I'm like, why the hell is the flashlight on? She never leaves her flashlight on. Oh, it was on. It was near her face. I'm not going to ever forget that.
Yeah, because that's when she saw the shadow figure sit up in his bunk, right?
That's right.
Yeah, she actually came in and came to me and asked if I was awake. Of course I was awake because I can't sleep. And she told me what she experienced. I'm like, well, they're not there. She goes, well, I know that now. And she goes, I'm like, I was thinking, okay, I just woke up.
It freaked her out, good.
It freaked her out. Well, she had to come tell me. She goes, it took her a minute. She wanted to tell somebody, but she was afraid to move.
I don't blame her, because when as I said, coming back, because I wanted to get my water. That's why I came back. And I sat there for a little minute. I couldn't be in that sick bay. Something was making me feel really warm, over anxious. I just couldn't be down there for some reason. And yeah, but to see her with her flashlight, right by her head, I'm like, oh my God, what the hell happened?
It was definitely warmer. It was like, what, around May or something we went there?
Yeah, but it was like abnormally warm. It was really warm.
To the point where, because I had a sleeping bag and I was pretty hot, but with the bed making the noises and the cow having the experience at the time, I didn't want to take my feet out from it to sleep.
Nobody does. No.
I
Like,
think
I'm the one.
because at least if I'm in my sleeping bag, I'm safe, right? Isn't that like the
Right.
whole
It,
boogeyman theory?
I'll have to post that on our web thing. There is this comic. It shows a person in bed like this, and then it has an outline of the safe zone while you're in bed, and it has the ghost grabby zone.
I didn't want my feet sticking out. So yeah, it's kind of funny. I mean, you go look for this stuff, but yeah, there's certain things because you're vulnerable when you're sleeping. Your guard's down.
Your guard is
and the
down.
last thing, like with you experiencing getting kind of pulled on that one, but with that experience on that first trip though, because you were on the bunk next to me,
Right.
but we had lockers at the foot of our bed.
That's right. So how
There
could
was
I
not like some of them had chains, some of them had like a set of bunks and then another set from foot to
There
foot.
was nothing to
This one
indicate.
had lockers at the foot of it.
Yeah, there's no way I should have been able to be pulled.
Exactly. If you would have been pulled from an actual person, it would have been from the side because those lockers are as wide as the bunks. There's
Right,
no way it's like some tiny little thing like this.
I wasn't.
Like this.
Yeah, I wasn't off the bed. I was at the. My feet were now at the further end of the. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, and it's not like the thing slope where you're gonna slide because I was, like I said, I was right next to you in the bunk, and
Right.
the bunk next to yours.
So between that, we have two people being roped. Another former one was, I don't know whether or not. She probably was. Maybe jump. Spooked the shit out of me. I wasn't expecting it to happen, but we did. We're all in the engine, not the engine room, sort of the engine room. We're on the catwalks, and they played what did they play? They played the, what do you call it? The quarters, general quarters.
Yeah.
Yeah, that.
I couldn't think of it either.
Anyway.
That.
Yeah. Do you remember what happened? Yeah, right on the nose. After we are right in the middle of playing it, we hear footsteps, right? We hear the footsteps walking around down there, and we're like, okay, is someone coming in? And we all wait. No one comes into the room. No one comes up the stairs. It was really creepy. As if the general quarters went off, and all of a sudden, footprints like running, like they're actually running. It was like insane to hear. And we're all looking over the rail and going, can we see them? We didn't see anything.
It was really dark down there too. You couldn't.
Well, even with the little limited amount of light, you still can see. There should have been some movement of some kind of shadowing.
I mean, if there was an actual person down there, you would have seen them.
That's what I mean.
But yeah.
And there was no evidence of that at all. And that was just the second time there. Our third time.
Third time was awesome.
Third time.
A lot of things happened.
Oh, no. Yeah, lots of things happen. Okay, I'll do mine first because mine's kind of minor and compared to yours. All right? Mine's very minor. So we're going to skip ahead to the nighttime. We're in the middle of our very first room, and I'm doing this, and I get that spiderweb effect, and Faye, you were in the back where I was, and I turned to you guys and said, it's like, is there something, like run into something? And both of you kind of looked up and went, no, there's nothing there to touch me. But that's my only experience except for some audio weird shit going on, but that's normal for me. Anyway, what's cool is what happened to Faye and didn't know it happened to her. Go ahead.
Oh, with the audio part?
Yes.
Well, because I was touched too.
Well, I know, but this one takes the cake.
Right, I'm playing with my hair now.
Yeah. Being touched is one thing, but finding out later what you found was amazing.
Yes. And we actually posted this on our Yola site. It's angelsoflight.com. No, angelsoflight.yolasite.com.
You sure?
No, I'm not sure. Angels of Light Paranormal. Don't put society. Yeah, it's angelsoflightparanormal.yolasite.com. I had to do this. I had to type it in. That's why I had to think. Brain light came on. Anyway, so this was during the Paracon, and they did the Paracon this time on the Hangar Bay, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what they called it, the Hangar Bay.
It's
so
the Hangar
they had
Bay.
the speakers, And it was Jennifer, myself, and another team member, Jason, and we were showing him around because he'd never been on it. And we were going around looking at the different things because you can go down the second level to see, sick bay, just that whole lower area for the most part. If it's not chained off, you can walk around. And we happened to finally found the mannequins, which they display a lot of the female in their uniforms. That's where it started.
Right.
Because you have this look like, huh?
No, I know, because I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah. So we were over there, and at that time, because I had my recorder going the whole time, and it was just the three of us. There was nobody else around. And I had, spoken saying, hey, it would be really cool if somebody said my name. It's Faye. If you can say Faye with the F emphasized, I go, it would really, really awesome because my name is very odd. I mean, it's
not
common, but not common. And so I'm always asking if people to say my name because it's not like, some people talk about radio interference or radio waves from radio stations. You're not going to hear my name. You'll hear Jennifer. You'll hear Jason. Those are very common names for this. Yeah, but you're not going to hear my name. So anyway, we get over to sick bay, and Jennifer points up the sign. It says sick bay, and I'm like, yeah, it's sick bay. She's like, I know, and you'll hear this in the audio if you go to our other website. And she goes, I know, that's why. And she pointed again. When you hear a female voice say Faye. And it was just the most awesome thing because I didn't realize it until obviously I went home and did audio review then. And I'm just so ecstatic still about it because finally someone said my name and it is obvious.
It is way obvious. Because there was nobody else down around. There's no docents. There's nobody else touring excuse me.
And nobody knowing my name.
Nobody would know
my name was not on my shirt.
We purposely did not have names on our shirt because we didn't want that to happen in case we wanted to have the experience of, okay, with no names, you can't read it, can't forge that shit.
Right. And honestly, there's going to be the non-believers. There's going to be people who can believe whatever we tell them. And honestly, I don't expect anybody to believe.
Oh, you're never going to get the few people that are going to go, yeah, right. Well, all I can tell you is you don't want to do that. Just tell them, go to the US and see it for yourself.
Right. What I tell people, the best thing is if you're in a group and you have your own recorder and you capture something was nobody else in that room, you'll know. But I don't expect people to believe me. I know what I speak is true from my experience. I have no reason in the world to try to
there's no
fake
reason.
that crap.
No, there's no reason to fake anything. It's just
there's no reason.
With everything that was going on, I mean, you getting that voice, hearing the muffled when people were talking. It's called Clear Audio or whatever it's called. I'll hear something and I'll turn to Faye and go, "Did you just say something?" And she goes, "No, what'd you hear?" And the next thing I know is that she has it captured on her recorder, whatever it is I heard. But I'm hearing it out here in this world.
Yeah. Right.
That can be a little pain in the butter sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially when you're trying to get.
But also later on that trip though, I did. By sick bay, by the operating room, I did have somebody mess with the front of my hair this time. They actually kind of pulled on it a little bit. And you could hear the excitement in my voice on the recorder because it was like one of those things like, oh, crap, they just touched my hair. But you're excited because like, oh, my God, they touched my hair.
Yeah.
But you're like, crap, they touched my hair.
When you rehear yourself and you're about how excited you are about one thing. But that was, yeah. Oh, I guess we could talk about that one thing. It's not as good as yours. Yours is that was a good one because you have proof. That's a proof one.
Okay.
What happened to me? We don't have any proof. Later that night, remember what happened? We're videotaping.
Yeah.
Trying to videotape. Yeah.
Yeah, we were trying to record her we had a room we were in that was pretty dark.
Very dark. We're trying to call forth anyone to come. Marines were at the Marine barracks, and so the light's on me, basically lights on me or videos on me. I pan around. I'm like, okay, there's Faye, there's Jason, Calvin's got the camera, there's our friend Scott, and I pan back, and there's our friend
Lori,
thank you.
Lori.
Like she would have killed me. Like, you know my name.
So there's just 6 of us.
Yeah. So anyway, That's all that's in the room. So I start panning back. The next thing I know, there's 2 legs in khaki pants and kind of a white top. And it startled me because I thought someone had walked in when I didn't realize someone, and I backed into the cabinet, literally backed into the cabinet. Bam! And I look back, there's no one there. Mind you, everybody else is sitting on the floor except for Calvin, who had the video recorder, and myself. Everybody else was sitting.
Well,
Everybody was
Jason
sitting.
and I were sitting on the bunk. We were facing the door.
Right, and you didn't see anyone walk in, right?
We didn't see anybody. I
Yeah.
was looking around.
And it was khaki pants and a white top. And it was about my height, maybe. But it was standing between Scott and Lori, who were sitting on the floor. And
There was nobody there.
I was
didn't see
not
anybody.
expecting that. It scared the crap out of me. And it's like, okay, I guess I got, and I laughed. I was laughing. I mean, I had
the wall, and it was a boom.
Oh yeah, boom. That's right. Oh,
She backed to the wall.
And then what we'll do is I'll do one more thing about the Hornet, and then we'll go to our other thing, because this will kind of lead into our other haunted location.
Okay.
If we're able to. I don't know if this is going too long right now. We're at 36 minutes.
No worries.
We'll figure it out. Anyhow, well, the reason why I'm saying this is because I'm going to do this during the day, and same place, but during the day. And I go into the room by myself, and at the cabinets, okay, it's 3 cabinets. So you have 1, 2, 3, right? So it's a little taller than me. The third, or middle, sorry, not the third. The third one's all closed. They're all closed. So the middle one, all of a sudden, I turn, I'm looking around, and I'm just trying to get a view of what's, of the room. And the next thing I know is that this thing goes, rattle, 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 rattle. And the door goes, open. And I just look at it, and I go, really? And I start laughing hysterically. I just laugh and laugh. I can't stop laughing. And then Faye and Jason walk in. I'm dying.
What are you laughing about?
I'm just dying. And I'm like, okay, please try to debunk this. This just happened. I said, this shook really violently. This door just opened. So Jason's doing his darndest. He's over there going, and he's trying to open. Okay, well, that door doesn't open very. No, he could not get it open. And then he closes it, and they turn their backs looking at something else in that same room. And what happens? It goes, rattle, 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 right behind them. And I start laughing again. And I'm like, really? Can't you do it with them looking? So anyway, which leads us to our next haunted location, which is the miner's cabin, which is why I'm bringing that up. That's why, because I had my poltergeist experience and you had yours. See?
That place is just amazing. We've been there 3 times, and honestly, if I can go there like every couple of months, I would. I really would.
It's expensive.
It is,
Well, the miner's cabin is
awesome.
It's in Virginia City, in Nevada. It was first seen by the public on Ghost Adventures. They rented the cabin, and none of them could stay there, apparently.
And they got nothing compared to what we got or experienced.
We've been there.
Oh my gosh.
During a Paracon, we've been there twice before, but this time I think was probably the cake. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the second time, there really nothing went on. I mean, I still got audio to go over with that, but the first time, honestly,
it was cold and too much negativity.
Yeah, but the first time during the Paracon was pretty cool because there was, let's see,
3, 4, 5, 6.
There were 6. No, but that's what's cool about it, I think, because we were only there for 40 minutes. We were there with 6 people. 3 of us at the time were team members, and then we had 3 other people. 2 of them which go there quite often and have had experiences. But during the 40 minutes we were there, we tried to conduct a couple of EVP sessions, but basically we ended up just talking about different experiences on different cases and stuff. Basically, it was a bullshit session is what we call, or what I call them.
Yeah, it kind of was.
Typically, I get a lot of audio with spirits when we're doing that. That's kind of what I like to record anyway. But honestly, with that, we heard a lot, though. We heard audibly, all of us, whispering. We heard growling.
Oh, that's right. We had that whistle and the growl, but that's all there really was that first time.
But I had that swallow next to me.
Yeah, that you didn't want your butt.
That tripped me out. Huh?
You didn't want your butt being
No, okay, let me explain that one. Okay, so we're all in the back bedroom of the cabin, and someone sat on the bed, and the rest of us sat on the floor, and I sat at the foot of the bed on the floor, but I kind of joked around and looked under the bed initially, and everybody's laughing at me. I'm like, well, I'll make sure nobody's under here grabbing my butt, because I was sitting back towards the thing, but I wasn't leaning against the bed at all. So we're trying to conduct our, different EVPs, and then
I can really hear your feedback now.
Yeah. So maybe because I get loud. Is it because I get loud?
I don't know. Anyway, continue.
I get loud. But anyway, we heard a growling, and then the guys went to go investigate to see where it was coming from, and then the other team, because we were supposed to rotate groups, were showing up. And so Jennifer and I went back in the room and sat down, and we're starting to ask questions. And I shit you not, right next to me, like someone just sat down, and I heard like a deep gulpy swallow right next to my ear. And it tripped me out. And the excitement and the giggle was like, oh shit. I go to Jennifer, I'm like, did you hear that? And she goes, well, yeah, she's trying to go home. And I go to move, because the first thought after that, I'm thinking, shit, someone's going to grab my ass. And I'm laughing, and I'm giggling. She goes, you're going to move because someone grabbed your ass. I go, well, she goes, you tell them to all the time. I said, but I didn't this time. I didn't give them permission to grab my butt. But I moved back because I wasn't going to be intimidated, basically. But on audio, you can hear it. It's clear, but obviously you can hear the excitement in my voice, too. It's freaking, every time I hear it, I'll laugh because
oh my gosh.
Like,
that was that one time, and we went back in the winter time.
But this recent trip. This recent trip was really awesome.
It was just the three of us. There's just three of us that were there. And
4 days, 3 nights.
This gives a little history about the miner's cabin. It's right next to the Yellow Jacket mine, which had a huge fire, and a lot of miners perished in that fire. The place that you get to stay in is pretty much the cabin, the rotating cabin or the bunk cabin, so that when people are off shift or getting ready for shift, they have a place to sleep and eat real quick before they go on shift is what it was for, or at least supposedly. I might have that wrong. It is possible I might have that wrong, but that's what I keep being told. Anyway, so with that being said, you get to rent this place. It's 2-room, 2-bathroom, kitchen, the whole full kitchen place. And a lot of people who've been there end up getting scared out of the cabin, told, nope, I can't stay in there anymore. I need a different room. So they asked for a room at the Gold Hills Inn, which it's actually I'm sorry, I said it was in Virginia City. Originally it's not. It's actually in Gold Hill, which is next to Virginia City. Gold Hill Inn or hotel is just as haunted, but people get scared out of the miner's cabin all the time. And at least this time, I think we are welcomed. They weren't even trying to scare us out of there. They're annoying us, but they weren't scaring us.
They were, for the most part, honestly, with that trip, it seemed pretty chill and quiet, other than the experience I had the second morning.
Well, right, you had that one, which drove you nuts.
It still drives me nuts. Are you kidding me? Every time I go back and bring in those damn balls, I'm going to do that again. That sounded really funny.
We brought these balls that light up when they get hit, and they roll. And she put them on the table because she's going to conduct an experiment to see whether or not they'll move. And I'm in the other room. I don't see any of this. She's there in the kitchen area. And all of a sudden I hear her get elated going like, oh my God. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, I really cussed on that one. I dropped the F-bomb. I'm like,
the F-bomb
all moved.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, because I was talking to the spirit saying, hey, I was like, we're going to go for a walk because if any of you ever actually follow us on, like, we have example and stuff posted on our Facebook page. But the 2 balls, the table I put it on the steam, the connecting two pieces. And for some reason, the whole floor tilts this way. So the table, they would roll off the table. So I had to kind of balance them in the center. And I've tested jumping on the floor, banging on the table, and it just kind of vibrates the balls, but they won't roll. So I was standing away from it, and I was just saying, hey, we're going for a walk, while we're gone. If you really want to communicate with us, just move one of the balls to show that you want to communicate, because that's what we're here for. We're here to try to get you guys a story and hope to be able to help get the truth out for you guys. And as I'm doing that, one of the balls seriously rolls, and it stops. And then I'm just like flipping out, excited, just can't believe that it just happened, because I said it again, just move the ball.
And then she spent the next almost 10 minutes trying to duplicate it and trying to debunk it.
That ball, when we physically barely touch it, it just keeps rolling. It never stops. It never stops. It rolled 2 inches, stopped, and just stopped. And I couldn't recreate that. And it's cool. It's a great, awesome personal experience for sure.
Yeah,
I just didn't expect it to happen right when I asked it, when I was talking about moving the ball. I was expecting, hey, while we're out walking,
Oh, no, they're going to do it right then and there. But then they didn't do it again at all.
They didn't do it again at all. I put up the GoPro while we were out walking. It wasn't on there. They didn't move it.
No, we had. And then, you were in the back room one night when we went to bed. I ended up having to. Remember that? The kid. Oh God! I swear, whatever was there. Did you even hear anything that was going on? You didn't hear. Well, because there's a bathroom between them. Okay, so no, you wouldn't have heard it. I was in the front room, which is right next to.
I kept hearing things pop and creak in my end, so I probably didn't.
Well, no, the kitchen is right there, and I'm just laying there, and the next thing I know, I turn all the lights off, and then I hear things banging, I hear things being dropped in the kitchen. I'm like, what the hell? So I go turn the light on. It stops. I'm like, okay. I go turn the light back off. Go back lay down. No kidding. As soon as my head hits the pillow, it starts all over again. So it ended up going on for a while. So I just got to the point where, fine, you win. I'll keep the light on. So I flipped the light on and went back to bed with the light on. I'm like, whatever. I'm not going to argue with ghosts. I wake up in the morning. I'm the first up. I'm going to make coffee for everybody. And I come into the kitchen. I come around the corner. There is a fork. A fork is on the floor. Just laying there for no reason. There's no rhyme or reason why this fork should be on the floor. It's on the flippin' floor. And I picked it up, I looked at it a little bit, and I'm like, not your flippin' mother, and I threw it in the sink. And I said, if you're nice, I'll make you all coffee, but I'm not your mother. Oh my God. That was insane.
Yeah, but I mean, it was a lot of fun on that trip. We tried all kinds of new different ways, trying to, to see if they can physically move things. So that was kind of fun because we did try new things.
Well, they did move things. It's just not that we didn't catch any of it on camera.
Yeah, they were doing it at their time.
I'm like, damn, of course you do it. It's always when you don't have the camera ready. I'm like, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, dumbass.
Yeah. But I got tons and tons and tons and tons of audio.
Yeah, I know. Lots of audio.
And I still have some to go over, but what was cool with the audio, because I recorded pretty much the whole weekend. I think there would have been.
Yeah, you non-stop recorder person, you.
Well, there was one night I didn't record. I thought I hit the button enough, and I didn't. So there was one night I didn't get it.
Oh, shame.
Oh my God, I feel so bad. But even when I slept, there was like little noises, but they didn't stop.
She'll feel bad because if she forgets to record her, you won't hear the end of it. You will not hear the end of it.
I almost oh my God, no.
Anyway, I didn't know that. Oh my gosh, I did not know that you didn't. Wow, I guess you're not all on it, huh?
Yeah, there's one night that I didn't get recording going. I was bummed. But I have tons of others. But the cool thing about the audio, because I do record all the time, because I do honestly feel, and with this trip, it proven to me, with my theory, that they're going to talk when they want to, not just when we want to conduct an EVP session.
Yes.
And
that is so true. Thank you. You were able to prove my audio thing, like, right away. Remember my audio
Oh,
clearance?
with Jason coming in the door?
Uh-huh. Yeah, that.
Oh, yeah, that was cool.
Because you didn't hear
Yeah.
anything, and neither did he.
Yeah,
He had opened the door.
tell him about that.
Okay, he had just come in well, mind you, there's 2 ways in, and we keep the one door locked at all times, so we have the main door. Anyway, he's coming in, and I hear him coming in, no big deal. My back's to him, and I hear, I don't know what the fuck that was. So I turned, did you say something? And Jason's all, what? Did you just say something? No.
And I was saying he didn't say anything either.
Yeah. And because he's all staring at me like, well, what did you hear? And I'm like, I heard, I mean, that's what I heard, literally. I don't know what I heard. It was a male voice.
I had just recently started to record again because after a couple hours I tried to catch it so the file's not super large.
Right.
And I was recording for like 10 minutes, thank God. Because go rewind. But,
she did something she doesn't
I
ever
rewound
do.
it. Yeah. But I don't make me do burst sessions with my recorder. It won't happen.
That's why we have one.
Like,
we have a burster just for those reasons. But anyway, that's besides the point.
We're gonna get a different one though. But we did capture.
It works. It just has a weird back sound. Anyway.
Yeah, but it was there. Yeah.
It wasn't as loud. It wasn't as loud as I had heard it, but you did catch it, and it was male. It was male.
It was male. And with all the recording that I did, it proved honestly, like I was saying, that they're going to talk when they want to. When we would conduct an EVP session, they were pretty quiet. They would still say a couple little things. There was one audio because there was 2 female voices, 3 different male voices that I've captured so far. And like I said, I still have audio to go over. But there was one night we were doing a lot of experiments. It was like Saturday night. We were doing a lot of that was our main focus, to do different experiments and really go at it. And we'd taken a break and had a snack, and we were getting ready to do it. And Jennifer's like, okay, let me do this before we get started again. And on audio, you can hear a female say, okay, now it's time to get tough. And I take it as, okay, now let's not be talkative, because all the other times when we're talking, when we're doing our thing during the day, they're just talking. And the coolest thing about this trip is they definitely remember me.
Yeah, they did.
They remembered me because when we first got there, we brought our bags in. I mean, we had a lot to unload because they have a full kitchen, so we brought food. We didn't have to spend more extra money. And first thing I did, I had my recorder ready, put it on the kitchen table, hit record. The minute we were unloading the car and getting the stuff out of their thing.
We even said hello. We didn't
first 10 minutes, we're just unloading the car. I had introduced myself. I had said, hey, there's a recorder. Didn't mention anything. Just hit the recorder, set it on the table, and we got to unloading the car and unloading the food and putting it in the fridge and stuff. And there was a male, same male, loud and clear, said my name. And I didn't realize it until when we were leaving, and on the way we were listening. And
she flipped out. She scared the shit out of me when she.
Oh my God! Even because really when we were heading back, we had to deal with snow heading back. But I was listening to the recorder because I was trying to focus to the point where the balls had moved. I wanted to see if there was actually audio during that part, which the male did say my name during that point, but I had introduced myself.
Right.
So which was really interesting. And then when I got home and started listening to more, started from the beginning and realized I hadn't even introduced myself. And they said my name, which was way cool. Way cool. But they also said Jen, because we kept saying just call her Jen or Jenny there. But they said Jen. And then once actually said Jason. And with that, because Jason hasn't really listened to a lot of audio, I sent him the clip and didn't tell him what it was. I said, just listen to this clip and tell me what you hear. And he messaged me back. He goes, holy cow, they said my name. So it's really cool. Because they said my name a lot during that thing, but we got full-on sentences.
But they didn't. But they weren't trying to scare us. The times we've been there. No, they like us too much. Apparently.
They laughed at us a lot. I thought it was funny.
Yeah, they laughed at us a lot, but they didn't try to do anything like anybody else's claims about being no full apparitions, nobody getting pulled, scared, yelled at, nothing like that. It was very kind of relaxing. They kind of gave us a nice little vacation.
It was definitely It's
I
an
know. If you
experience.
call
for
ghost
sure.
hunting a vacation, yeah, that's kind of
I
was.
know, for us it is. We love
Well,
it. Get
well,
away from
yeah.
the normal work days. Go ghost hunting.
Well, even the lady when we checked out was like, "Well, how'd your night go?" And like, "Oh, it's just fine."
We
She's
were
like,
telling.
"Really? They didn't do anything to you?" No. They were there,
We
but
told
they
her
didn't
about
do
the
it.
balls. We told her about a couple actual experiences, but beyond
She
that,
said that the cleaning lady was starting to vacuum, and they kept trying, whatever was there, whatever entity, ghost, whatever, kept trying to turn off the vacuum. What do you hear, Faye? You hear
I
something?
heard my name.
You heard your name in your own house?
Email. Yeah, that's why
Uh-oh.
I'm just like.
No attachments. No attachments now.
No attachments.
No,
But
right
I
now.
did. I am not kidding. Did
No,
you see the look on my
I
face?
saw you look on your face. That means you were listening. You're listening because you're like, okay, somebody's either home. And the only other
Nobody's
thing,
here.
the only thing that's distracting me right now is, well, I got Loki, the kitten, is on the table trying to destroy a cardboard box. So anyway,
Sorry.
no,
No, but I did hear a female voice. It was very faint. Stay. Over like towards the bedrooms. And nobody's here and no TV's on.
Well, I guess when I look at this video again and I replay it, I'm gonna see if it even is there. That'd be now you're gonna have people when we finally have this.
Cool. Oh my God! Please, if anybody hears that, please let us know.
Anyway, those are our favorite two spots. It's the USS Hornet and the Miner's Cabin. We go to other places, but these are the two places that we've been that's been off the hook no matter when we go.
And not just because they know my name. All of it's cool.
Sure. Because they know her name. Alright. We're going to end this. Hopefully I can. If I figure it out.
Just hit the stop record button. Hopefully it doesn't close us out. But hey, message us, people. Message us.
Oh, yeah. On the Double Trouble. Double Trouble strikes again. I know that's more we're kind of silly this time, but we're being more serious. But that's the way it goes, right? You're not supposed to have all funny or all serious. Right? Right.
You'll have fun.
Anyway, so catch us next time with Double Trouble with Jen and Faye. Bye.